Happy New Year. It is, what date is it? January 6th, and we're getting back into the swing of things. Today we're going to be talking about trials and how not all trials are created equal, really. Um, and I think we got some strong opinions here. And really, what we're looking to do is sort of share some of our thinking around. I guess the question is, how do I know if a trial is worth a human intervention, right, versus high touch, low touch? So, where do we start with this, Kate? Like, what's the sort of like the first question that you're asking, aside from, are they worth my time? I think maybe
Yeah.
that's the way to
And
put it.
I'm putting away the sales-led PLG stuff, putting away all of that to one side and just going, how do you get yourself organized? And
Mm.
I'm thinking in terms of not having large teams, not having large tooling, just, you're getting going. What are you going to be thinking about? And to me, it comes down to two things. One is I think you need to look at an account level, not a user level. My God, everyone must be bored with me saying stuff like that. I think you've actually got to look at all of that. And I think the second thing is you've actually got to see what they're doing and using product usage, not just clicking on stuff, but getting a sense of how deep and how wide. And that's kind
Yeah.
of where I would be thinking, because the only way you're going to do this is you've got to prioritize. Got to set yourself
Yeah.
some rules and then go that way.
And I mean, how many times have we seen it that teams want to do all the things, right? And I think that, look, I'm guilty of doing the same thing, right? Like I get a new tool, I want to use 100% of it. I want to talk to all my customers. I want to have everybody, caught in my net, so to speak. But I think the teams that we've seen really start to thrive when they turn their attention to their trial accounts or evaluators or whatever you want to call it, is that they pick a handful and say, are our either it's in like an ICP filter or even something even more narrow. Like they fit into our ICP, but it's enterprise or it's companies that look like X. And they start focusing on those to kind of establish their rhythms and their playbooks first. And then they
Yeah.
roll it out.
Yeah, and I'd also challenge that, and I've been really reflecting on this because in our own business with our own trials and stuff, the things that you used to do just aren't working anymore. So it's not, on one level, it is a trial volume. You want volume, but it's
Mm.
actually, you've just got to get really good at interpreting. And,
What do you mean by interpreting?
we've thought evals that we thought were going really well. And
Mm.
then they just didn't at all. Oh, you lose the momentum. You've kind of got that window, haven't you? You've got the window
Yeah.
to catch them to get their interest. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a conversation I had recently with a cool company in health tech, is that, they've got their 30-day trial, and what they recognize is that, they can do more. They have a good sense of what activation looks like, but they don't have a way to track it. And so, healthy business, lots of trials. Where do you actually focus your time and attention? So one of those things I think is, I mean, for me, this seems like an obvious one, right? Is like, how valuable is the customer to the business? That's a sort of a lens to look at this through. Is like, if you get, who are we talking to recently? Someone that's like, they're getting thousands of trials, but they didn't know who was who, right? And so you treat all 1,000 potential customers the same because you don't know how big they are. A lot of customers signing up with Gmail accounts, which creates its own issues, but just taking some traits, whatever traits that they can, and narrowing that focus has really helped them increase the quality of customers that they're getting out of these trials too. But what kind
Which
of
is kind of what
lenses
I
are
was saying
you
about product usage, because
a
I reckon if
proponent
you
of,
actually
right?
don't
If
get a
if
handle
you're
on
getting a
the
thousand
product
trials per month,
usage,
let's say,
and you can have all the dashboards in the
what are the
world, but it
criteria that
really
you're
is
looking
just
at?
the
What are the
product
filters that you're trying
usage,
to
then,
use to narrow that down?
to me, that's where you go to. You work out the activation points and lean in that way.
My internet blinked out again, so I totally missed that answer.
So, so,
It,
in my mind, you've got to have product usage, Pete. In my mind, if you actually don't track and understand what people are doing, and it's not fancy big dashboards and stuff, things are moving too fast, too quickly on all of that. And I'm also, your ICP on one level, but the firmographics and stuff, it's quite static stuff, and you can be just a bit too slow. I don't know what you think on all of that, Pete. I think you can just be a bit slow.
Yeah, well, I think, I've been there where it's you sort of look at dashboards and you're trying to find the thing that's going to jump out at you.
Yeah,
And I think that's something that we're pretty big believers in is like high fidelity signal over dashboard.
yeah,
Tell me what I need to know. Give me signals that I know and I trust that I then can
yeah,
act on.
yeah,
And that's sort of my opinion. I do have a habit of I look at a coil first thing in the morning, so I'm trying to see, who's engaging, who's not, what's looking
yeah,
good, who's
yeah,
looking less good. But in saying that, like those are little signals inside the product, but for me it's also, I do pay attention to what comes through Slack and having set those up so that I'm seeing what I want to see. I suppose you could get a little bit blind to things that are happening outside of what you've set up, but that's why I'm looking at our product usage pretty much every
yeah.
morning.
Yeah, and I mean, we're always going to be biased. Anyone listening, just we might as well have product usage tattooed on our foreheads.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's not just about being all over the place. It's actually about repeatable. And you've got that window, and then they're gone. You've got the
Yeah.
person who kind of goes and does everything, but where you can actively see someone building out something. Like they're building a report and they're sending it to someone. That
Mm,
to me is where it gets a bit more edgy. In
yeah.
summary, in my mind, and we haven't even talked AI, and I'm
Mm,
reckoning there's a huge place for it all now. There's the ones where you're not going to do anything. You've got AI just bubbling away. And I was listening to a really good person how they've overhauled their business with their agents, their sales agents, and they've cut
mhm.
out a number of sales agents, which is fantastic. So that's fantastic that you can put all of that into place. But then it's okay, then when does the human come in? And I think the only way you can do that is by prioritization. And to me, it's product usage.
Yeah, I agree. I again very biased on that, but I think that is the strongest indicator. It's like behavior is more a reliable indicator than I said this too. Like I'm a very polite liar from time to time. Believe it or not, Kate. Sometimes I tell people what they want to hear. Just don't ask my wife. So I think that is. I mean, to me, that's why we're building this product to give you that signal, have a really strong, reliable, based on what your customers are actually doing, not just what they're telling you. It's not to say that qualitative stuff doesn't matter for anything, but I do believe that, it's like I'm often behaving differently from what I might be even saying or what I might even be telling myself I do. Anyway, so I could go on about my own flaws for almost ever. But to wrap this conversation up, I think for me to kind of get down to bullet points here, like what are we looking at? It's we're talking B2B SaaS, treat trials at the account level, see how the accounts are doing, and then dig into the users, prioritize their behavior over their expressed intent. So you're looking at real activity and then prioritization. I think that's sort of the big thing, right? Like who's bubbling up and where is my time best spent? I think is a really
And
important
then
one.
judiciously use your AI for me. It's an and, it's not an or in
Mm.
my mind. And just judiciously have your AI there to support you in the
Yeah,
sales
well, that's
process.
that's when you start building out the systems around that, right? And I think you get into the agentic flows, which it's a topic for another time, I
It
think.
is.
So
And
with
we're all
that,
learning. We've all got our big L plates on that one.
yeah, it's a bit intimidating, also exciting, and I think we'll start talking more about that. We're going to start building some agents ourselves, I think, and
Love
see
to
where
do
that
that.
goes. All right. So wishing everybody more trials, but when you do get those more trials, prioritize, focus in on the ones that are highest impact on the business, and then start building systems around those workflows. And I think that's the way to go, in my humble opinion.